In the midst of the last century in Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta in Colombia, a remote place in South America, a restless researcher proposed to the world a doctrine that would expand to all lengths and widths of the earth in just a few years. The beginnings of this doctrine, called Gnosis, as ancient as our own world, are based on the psychology of self-knowledge. The name of the wise revolutionary who made it known to the public is Venerable Master Samael Aun Weor. He was born in Bogota, Colombia on March 6, 1917. From the early years of his life, he had been experiencing supernatural incidents, as all kinds of paranormal phenomena was happening to him. He was born with tremendous spiritual concerns, and from a very young age, he used to sit in oriental postures and meditate. In his 12 years, he researched the mysteries of infinity in the restless field of Spiritism. He studied metaphysical works by authors such as Luis Zea Uribe, Camille Flammarion, Kardec, Leon Denis, Cesare Lombroso, etc. He read the Spirit's book and many other volumes of interesting content, and participated in many psychic experiments on mystery research. He had not yet turned 16 when he was already studying all sorts of spiritual issues concerning Theosophy, analyzing in detail and in the light of modern science the problems of the spirit. He also studied the natural experiments of Englishman William Crookes in a full-scale laboratory which were associated with the materialization of the ghost of Katie King. At the age of 17, he gave lectures to the Theosophical Society, having received a Theosophist degree from the hands of Janara Jadasa himself, the brilliant president of the aforementioned society. He knew a lot about the Pythian tripods of antiquity, about the haunted houses and the posthumous appearances, and he knew in depth all the telepathic phenomena. He devoted himself to the study of the secret doctrine, an excellent work by the Venerable Great Master and 19th century highest martyr, Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. After exhausting his theoretical studies of Theosophy, he practiced vigorously Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, etc. When he turned 18, he entered the ancient Rosicrucian school, FRA, founded by Dr. Arnold Krumheller, a physician and colonel of the Mexican army, who held the medical chair at the University of Berlin. He was a polyglot and was regarded as a noble scholar, V.M. Samael. There he searched for the ancient way, the path of the razor blade. He found the golden intersection between theory and practice, studying the works of Krumheller, Hartmann, Eliphas Levi, Steiner, Max Heindel, etc. In that school, he activated his chakras, developed telepathic powers, and became much more sensitive. Still young, he continued the practice of meditation, experimenting twice with the illuminated void, or great cosmic reality. He practically explored the jinn stages, related to the fourth dimension of the planet, and through the astral projection began immediate investigation around the mysteries of life and death in the higher spatial dimension. In Krumheller's works, he found in Latin the unfathomable mystery of the great arcane AZF. This occult knowledge, associated with sexual alchemy, had been kept secret by the alchemists of the Middle Ages. In his 26 years, he met his future wife, Arnolda Garo, V.M. Litalantes, who taught him the process of the jinn stages in a practical way. V.M. Samael Aun Weor had already studied them theoretically in his theosophical studies, and especially in the works of Mario Rosso de Luna. From the beginning of his ministry, Master Samael insisted on the philosophy of the good householder. He taught that no one could be considered a candidate to receive the light unless he was a good parent, a good brother, a good citizen. He studied the psychology of Krishnamurti and the teaching of G.I. Gurdjieff, with which he began his work on psychological defects. With all this volume of theoretical and practical knowledge, he wrote his first book, The Perfect Marriage of Kindergarten, or The Entrance Gate to the Initiation, published in May 1950. Like this began a series of 60 books, which he would write throughout his life, and always in relation to the mysteries of the universe, esotericism, the psychology of self-knowledge, etc. The esotericists of the entire planet call Samael's work as a whole the fifth gospel, because it reveals that the four preceding ones were given to us codified 2,000 years ago by V.M. Ben Pandira. In 1952, he went to the Colombian jungle of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta Mountains, where he directly studied the forces and the magic of plants and its application in natural medicine. He called this science elementotherapy. The first underground Gnostic temple was also built there, called Summum Supremum Sanctuarium. This place would become the spiritual epicenter of the Gnostic movement that had begun to emerge, temple of initiation in the great mysteries, which would manage to become a powerful energy vortex for planet Earth. It took over 20 years for the construction to complete, thanks to the intense efforts and sacrifices of a few people who accomplished a real feat. In 1954, he receives, through internal revelation, the mission he is to perform, leaving the jungle. He travels from Colombia to Mexico by foot, crossing through all of Central America. He settles in Mexico until the time he will have to leave his physical body. From that moment, he devotes himself to writing all the immediate knowledge he experiences in the physical world and in the parallel dimensions of space, in which he could already move consciously, because he had attained the awakening of his consciousness. He sleeps having as a pillow the book, The Dwellings of the Philosophers, by the alchemist Master Fulcanelli, written in a symbolic language, understandable only by the initiates. Among the tasks that were assigned to him by the White Lodge, we can mention the following: to be the avatar of the new age of Aquarius, to deliver the teachings of the path of light for the aforementioned age, prepare the ground for a new race. Avatara is a Sanskrit term that means messenger. The Aquarian Age began on February 4th, 1962, between 2 and 3 p.m., when all the planets in our solar system, up to Saturn, were aligned with the Aquarius constellation. This astrological age will last for approximately 2,160 years. It is ruled by the planet Uranus, which brings to humanity electronic discoveries, aviation, etc. But it also brings about the revolution. It is up to each individual how it will carry out this revolution, whether it will be inwardly, so as to be awakened from the consciousness, or it will be external, to only express an incompatibility towards materialism. This is how V.M. Samael interprets the teachings of the mystery schools of the Maya, the Aztecs, the Incas, the Egyptians, and the Greeks, opening the gates of the schools of initiation for the 20th and 21st century. At this point in this article, we should ask, what is initiation? Many people believe that in order to enter a true initiation school, they may have to travel to faraway places such as India, Tibet, the Amazon forests, etc. In fact, the initiation is a tremendously long journey which takes place not a centimeter away, because it's a psychological journey to the bottom of our heart. It is a journey into self-knowledge. Slowly, these teachings of the Gnostic school of V.M. Samael Aun Weor have spread to almost all countries on planet Earth, and today we find them on all 5 continents. Another question we can ask ourselves is, how can we identify an authentic initiation school, given the fact that currently there are 17,000 different groups looking for the path to enlightenment? Every authentic initiation school must know the 3 factors of the revolution of the consciousness: psychological death, alchemical birth, sacrifice for humanity. Experts in the field classify spiritual schools into 4 categories. Schools, kindergarten. They serve to start one's spiritual path, but they do not lead us to the final destination because they partially ignore the method. Schools that teach the creation of the soul. They know the method of psychological death and for the evolution of the purification of the human being, but they do not know the mysteries of alchemy. schools that teach the creation of the soul and the spirit. They have all the knowledge necessary for the intense self-realization of the being, highest level of perfection. Black magic schools. They lead human beings to the lower stages of creation. The Gnostic doctrine is the synthesis of all the universal teachings of the history of mankind. It has been taught by all the great initiates, such as Moses, Buddha in India, Quetzalcoatl in Central America, Moria, Kuthumi, Sanat Kumar in Asia, Saint Germain in Europe, etc. In 1958, V.M. Samael establishes a triple alliance between major spiritual movements. A. Alas, Liberation Action of South America, led by Professor Francisco A. Propato, Master Luximo. B. Aryabhata Ashrama, a movement established in India by Sri Swami Sivananda. C. The Gnostic Movement created by Master Samael. Together they form the Aglas Group, Gnostic Action for the Liberation of Amerindia. These three movements did an excellent job of dissemination and set the stage for the beginning of the new Age of Aquarius. Thousands of people have practiced the Gnostic teachings across the globe. V.M. Samael acquired many direct disciples, some of whom regained the power of their inner being, like his wife, V.M. Litlante, and also V.M. Garga Kuchines, V.M. Rabolu, V.M. Tahwil, V.M. Lakshmi. The latter mentioned was assigned the task of creating and directing as the abbot of a Gnostic monastery in the Andes of South America, which he gave the name Lumen de Lumine. The natural location of this Gnostic monastery is mysterious and has been explored by NASA because it is unique. Along with the Cape Canaveral in the US and another similar site in Siberia, it is one of the three unique places on planet Earth that allows spacecrafts to go straight into outer space without having to get into orbit first. This proves that these are points of great energy value. V.M. Lakshmi was already stood out from very young due to his great wisdom and his abilities in teaching philosophy and psychology of the human being. He defines philosophy as the exaltation of the spirit in order to deal with the adversities of life. He was a great ecologist, defender of life and nature, and the founder of many environmental associations. This master also undertook on behalf of the White Lodge the following missions: revealing of the jewels of the Yellow Dragon, an ancient Chinese order that possessed the greatest treasures of human psychology. V.M. Lakshmi, between 1994 and 1999, in various places of the planet, re-unveiled these ancient secrets that serve the evolution of self-knowledge and initiation. He has taken over from Master Samael himself the task of restoring the Gnostic institutions of the world. From 1990 onward, V.M. Samael rested on December 24th, 1977, and this fact caused many problems for the study groups, which happens whenever a great guide of humanity departs of this world. Undoubtedly, V.M. Lakshmi, after 1990, as he was instructed, he devoted himself to the reorganization of the international Gnostic mission, with his only weapons being the esoteric discipline, the teaching, and his love for humanity. This work has been faithfully completed, with the writing of 60 books on the esoteric path, and with teaching in more than 25 countries, till the time of his ascension, on July 23rd, 2005. He also undertook the mission of establishing Gnostic monasteries and underground temples of great mysteries on Earth. So far, 12 such sites have been opened at strategic points on our planet and serve as stabilizers of the cosmic forces for humanity. The preparation of mankind for the interface between the fifth root race of the planet, Aryan race, and the future sixth race Koradi, which will live on the Antarctic continent. We live very important times for the planet and humanity, because so many mysteries in the history and over the centuries had never been revealed regarding the great truth of creation. The reason for this is that we are experiencing difficult times in which the four elements of nature, earth, water, air, and fire, are revolting through major natural disasters as a consequence of the psychological load of humanity. These are times when there are wars and rumors of upcoming wars in many parts of the earth. Moments that, as it seems, humanity has lost its way. But undoubtedly the sun of Aquarius arises in the horizon to enlighten all people with a pure and noble heart who wish to enter the miraculous path of self-knowledge and initiation. V.M. Michael.